Kia ora and welcome to Tarmac. Today I've got my hands on not one but two G Wagons or wagons, depends which country you're from. This all-terrain mammoth of a vehicle is now been updated in its second generation, and we've got, like I said, our hands on two of them. Come, let's take a look at this. The G Wagon itself actually started out life as a military vehicle, but in 1979 became a little bit more civilized and hit the road, or a road near you or something. And in 2018, the second generation came out, where it became lighter, just smarter, a little bit bigger in all dimensions, and just, I don't know, just more luxurious. It's been improved again for the 2021 year model, and it's got things like a desert driving mode, just should you ever be caught out in the desert, and also just a few extra touches just to make it even more civil. One of the new enhancements is actually the color, the exterior color. This is now, it probably looks a bit black to you, but it's actually emerald green and also metallic. So really in this sunlight, really does stand out amazingly. I won't wander around it because realistically, it hasn't changed much in design since the 5-year-old first took with a crayon and drew that boxy shape, and nor should it. I mean, it really is a remarkable silhouette that really just has stood the test of time. This model does come with these nice big 19-inch feet, and look at all this rubber. Believe me, this does ride so nicely on the road. I'll show you that in a minute. The rest of it, certainly when you're looking out, you can't miss these indicators, and it really does show you where you are on the road. The rest of it, like I said, hasn't really changed much. This is a model that's basically off the rack. The only thing they've got different to it is an 800 off-road package, which really just is some mud flaps and some stuff inside, some floor mats. But realistically, this is how you get it as a 217 grand model off the shelf. Not bad. Like I said, from the rear you can really see how boxy this vehicle is, but that's not a bad thing, and also how well put together it is. Feel that it's just so solid and rugged and ready for anywhere. I've actually taken one of these off-road into the middle of the Australian desert, and I can honestly say didn't skip a beat. It's an amazing vehicle. The other thing to look at is the 400D, and that's something that really has improved. We'll show you under the bonnet now. What we have here, my friends, is a 3-litre 6-cylinder turbo diesel engine that gives you 243 kilowatts of power and 700 newton meters of torque from as low down as I think is around about 1200 RPM. It sips diesel at 9.5 litres per 100 kilometers, and also actually picks up this big heavy beast from 0 to 100 in 6.4 seconds, and it feels really fast. So speaking of how it feels, let's take it for a drive. So the G Wagon, what can I say about it? Like I said, the last time I was really behind the wheel of a G Wagon was in Australia, driving through all the desert and the nasties that Australia has to offer, and getting to Ayers Rock right in the middle. And literally, they did not skip a beat. We threw them through so much stuff, and hopefully, well, I'll put a link, but you can probably see the video. It's literally, we did everything with it. This new one is more refined. It's got the full length digital instrument cluster and dash, and really full of tech. So very, very cool from there. Doesn't have the MBUX system, so you can't say hey Mercedes and it doesn't interrupt you, so that's a little bit of a downside, I guess. Probably will come in the next issue, but it does also have the reversing camera is standard, so you can see where you're going. But other than that, it's just such a refined drive. This has got the 3-litre diesel, which is remarkably quick off the mark. It's got tons of power. I mean, 700 newton meters of torque from way down low. It's got to be a good thing, right? And it really does lay it down nicely. It's 6 seconds or whatever it is, 6.4 seconds. It's not bad for a vehicle that's got to weigh over a couple of tons. And even though it is lighter, it is bigger. It doesn't loll around too much. It does have extra drive mode, so you can go into sport to tighten things up, which is more really throttle response, and gear changing response. But it's not sluggish. Like I said, it's pretty good. Round the corners, it's not a sports car, so you can't expect it to behave like one, but then you wouldn't take a sports car into the desert and do what we've done with them before. The extra desert mode, which you use by flicking through the drive mode section down here, does give you better traction on the sand, and that's quite an exciting thing for those that like to drive on sand or go through the desert. I don't know how many of you will do that, but it does give you better traction in the mud and things like that, so that's pretty good. Also, the diff locks, there's 3 different diff locks, so you can just 1, 2, 3 dial them up and literally get in and out of whatever trouble you so choose to be in, and that's got to be again another good thing. It's got that sense of basicness where you've got door handles where you have to push the buttons in to get the door open. There's such a sort of mechanical feel about them, and then there's just the refinement of this Burmester stereo with the speakers everywhere, even up where you put your sunglasses up here. It's got a sunroof. It's got like I said, the Burmester stereo is so powerful. It's got the air vents that look like the jet fighter engines, which is good, and just leather just throughout. So you've got ultimate refinement, but I don't know, I should be rapping or something. And the design, like I said, it's timeless. It's been around since they first drew it, and here it still is, and it's such a nice silhouette. You can spot it from everywhere, and that's good. Does come with adaptive cruise control, does come with all the safety suites like lane keep assist, and also traffic sign recognition. All this sort of stuff flops through, and also you can just change all the information you want using your thumb. So you can change the screen design, you can change your stereo, you can change your dynamic select, you can see what consumption you're into, just all this sort of stuff. It's a family vehicle, it's a pimp mobile, it's a rapper's delight. It's just so much going on for it. Awesome. Now this is good, but this is even better. Introducing the G63 G Wagon. Come, let's take a look at this. The AMG G63 is basically the G Wagon on steroids. I mean, proportionally it's the same size, same width, same height, that sort of stuff, but look at it. It's just, it's so impressive. Comes with the Panamericana grille, AMG badging, more styling to the front, more, I don't know, more oomph, more eye-catching. My review model comes in platinum, and it really does set the scene for how just important, how top of the line this vehicle is. Looking around the side, you've got massive 22-inch feet. Look, they're huge. 22s, they're massive. And also just 4 or 5 caliper brakes here. I mean, it's going to stop. AMG braking, it's going to go fast and it's going to stop. I'll tell you what's under the bonnet in a second, but looking around the rest of the side, AMG and V8 biturbo badging, that tells you what's under the bonnet. Again, we'll go there in a second. And look at this, side steps, but just under here, the exhaust, and you can set it to be incredibly loud and obnoxious or just loud and obnoxious. It's up to you. Round the rear, more AMG badging. The G63, just telling you again what it is. And just, I don't know, just such a good finishing. But more of the finishing and more of the goodies are under the bonnet and inside. A handcrafted 4-litre biturbo V8 that offers up 430 kilowatts of power and 850 newton meters of torque. It's just a brute of an engine and sounds that way too. It's married to a 9G speed shift gearbox, and together it produces, get this, 4.5 seconds 0 to 100. Doesn't necessarily sip fuel, but we don't worry about that. And it's also permanently all-wheel drive, so it really does lay it down well. Let's take a look on the inside. So for the G63, take whatever I said about the G400D and multiply it by 10. This is a beast of a vehicle, and just oozing, dripping, loaded with refinement and just exuberance, or just excess is pretty much the thing I'd probably say. It's just amazing. The paintwork has got this this platinum paintwork is lovely. It's got this dull sort of matte finish to it, and boy does it stand out. The other thing about this vehicle, I'll get to the engine in a minute, believe me, is the seats. Yes, everything in here is bathed in fine leather, and it's just, this one happens to be a red leather, but it's just oozing in it, as I said. But the bolsters down the side, when you turn right, so going around a roundabout now, the left bolster comes out to hug you, so it pushes you or keeps you straight. It's kind of bizarre, but also just puts a smile on your face. It hugs you in the corners, and the stronger you put it into the corners, the more it hugs you. So it's sort of giving you a sense of sort of a thank you when you really put it into corners. It's not magical, this vehicle, in the corners, but I don't know, just keeping you upright and straight, particularly if you're going to go into the likes of semi-off-road, because at the price of this, which is 100 grand more than the 400D, I don't know as I would be taking this anywhere near off-road, to be honest, although I know it's capable because we've been off-road in one. But that was thanks to Mercedes doing it for us. Well, on the subject of seats, it also has a massage function, so you can have a variety of massages as you're going along, because everybody owning this does deserve a massage. And just the overall appearance, you look around, there's just fine finishing everywhere. It's honestly, it's amazing. The dash, whereas the 400D's got a handle here, this has got an open wood finish to the handle. There's leather everywhere, contrast stitching, there's just stuff. It makes you just feel at home, so at home straight away. It still doesn't have the new MBUX system, so you can't, well, actually it's quite good because you can't yell, "Hey Mercedes," and expect anything to happen. You do have to do things manually, but I'm sure the next version that comes out will have that, but small price to pay. Around town, you can leave it quiet. You can actually adjust the exhaust, so you can put the exhaust on to make some sound, so you can be in comfort and have exhaust on, or you can switch it off and be relatively quiet. On the matter of comfort, the armrest's really good. I'm quite an armrest. I'm an armresterer. I don't know if there's such a thing, but you can actually rest it nicely on the windowsill here, and you know, be quite comfortable where you're going. Around town, just leave it in comfort, and it's just kind of a nice soft ride. You can go into individual, you can set up stuff from there. You've got a slippery drive mode, so if you want to go into anything slippery, such as, I don't know, wet roads or ice or snow, that's cool. You can flick it up to sport, where things get a little bit more responsive and a little bit louder, or you can flick it up to Sport Plus, where everyth's more responsive and louder, and it backfires and unleashes hell. It unleashes hell. It's brilliant. So loud, so obnoxious. The baffles open, all those horses are released, the 850 newton meters of torque is out there. Everything's just loud and annoying, and well, it's not annoying at all actually. It's probably annoying for anybody else, but fills the cabin with those delightful sounds of the V8. Fabulous. And what's more, the speedometer goes right up into take your license mode. It's great. For such a heavy car, it certainly goes fast. So there you have it, 2 G Wagons for your enjoyment. One with a desert mode that can conquer the desert, and the other one with an sports exhaust that spews fire out the side and can conquer your neighborhood. Both brilliant. My choice would be the AMG version, obviously, but both brilliant. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe. We'll be around here somewhere, and see you next time.